listening to the Lancescurv Show.
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out.
Wow, I'm loving that song more and more. Welcome everybody back to another episode of Lancescurv Live. I told you I was going to double up today because we missed out last night because of the power outage. And if for some reason the power outage happens tonight, I'm going to go on my phone. So it may take 2 or 3 minutes to resume. So just bear with me. I'm loving this. I'm doubling up. I might double up every day. Who knows? Look at that title. Let's just jump right into it. All right. Let me just take a peek over here. It's me, Lisa Lee. You were the first one in. Chrissy Hutchinson, much love. Gina G in the house. Master Glam. Oh, Sister Oyala, the beautiful. You're all beautiful. You know that. Provide triggers for evolution. Yeah, look at that. Let me see. What did you say there, brother? It might be a sister. I don't know, right? Excuse me, right? That's a good question. Some psychologists have argued that psychologically conquered peoples are mentally unwell. I agree with that. I agree with that. Brother Landon Price, brother, yes, always on the conference lines, dropping that wisdom. Jeff Spark, aka Home Skillet from New York. Yes, I love that name. That's a hard name to read if you don't know it. I'm going to jump right into it. And I have to say that what you just said, provide triggers for evolution, is pretty much the backbone. And I'm not saying we are conquered like we can't rise back up. I'm not saying that. But as we are now, you know, I would have to say, honestly, and this is going to be an honest, straight shooting situation. When I began to think about it, and some things happened today that made me, and I wasn't even going to say anything about it. Not that I wasn't going to say anything about it eventually, because, you know, I tell all. But it really made me, and I will tell you, but I just want to say this first. It really made me think about Black people globally. Seriously. I always ask for a percentage, and it doesn't have to be super correct. But how many of you feel, or what is a percentage of mental sickness? And I said that way instead of mentally ill. Sick has more punch to it. Because when we dig deep below the surface, below the characters that we try to play to offset the sickness, we got some issues. And I'm not throwing off on anybody here in the chat room. We've all been stressed and we all been pushed to the edge. Yes, we all have. So I'm not trying to clean it up by saying that. I'm not saying anybody here is mentally sick, but we're all touched. I'm touched. I'm touched. Sometimes I do things that are just like off the chain, but then maybe that keeps me sane. But we all have that character that we formulate to deal with the trauma that we've gone through. And I'm not saying anything's wrong with that. But in forming that character that we present to the world, when a person asks you, how's everything? And the first thing before they can get the last G out of everything is we inhale and say, quick, everything's all right. Everything's okay. But you go home and act weird as F-U-C-K. You have that public persona that you put on. You don't want to talk about it. So you're walking around with emotional doo-doo inside your mental stomach and you don't want to shit it out. But it always has to come out sooner or later. It will form cancers physically in your body. It will drive you even more wild. It'll make it where you can't function in a relationship where you can clearly communicate. I didn't want to say normal relationship because what relationship really is normal? We're the sum total of our experiences. And for some of us and most of us, we are the sum total of our damn traumas. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. How many of us, we don't take out the garbage? And what happens in your home when you don't take out the garbage? It begins to stink. The stench, the simple act of taking out the garbage, the simple act of getting professional help or having a friend that you can talk to work on things and also face the part of it that you did. I'm not blaming you for everything. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, though. I'm just saying, yo. We got a little hand in the bad boy, too. I mean, how else do we not pass on our idiosyncrasies? I like the way that word flows off my tongue. Idiosyncrasies. How do we not pass them on to our children? They're weird, too. Just weird after weird generation. And I'm not talking in a condescending way to hurt anybody. Yes, Chrissy Hutchinson said we're emotionally retarded. That's right. And we don't want to see what's going on the inside. And we skedaddle around like we're all that. And we got garbage that we haven't taken out. And then when you want to talk about the garbage when you're young, the weirdo family wants to worry more about the appearance on the outside. You can't talk about that. We have to go to church and see the other church members. And if they know that, that will be embarrassing. We can't have the neighbors hear these things. We have to grin and bear it. Oh, we're going to go down the list of some weirdo stuff I done seen in my lifetime. And when I tried to think about it, I said, okay, there are families that have less of it. I understand that. So I'm not saying everybody has all of this whole huge thing, but in most cases, whatever's there, we leave a little residue, even if we clean most of it out. Or how would it be if one had a tumor? What's you got benign and you got the one, what is it? It starts with an M that keeps growing. You cut the benign out, that's it. My mother had cancer. That's why I know. And she had to have a breast removed. That brought me lots of trauma, not because of her, but because of other situations and other situations that I had in my life. But I had a pretty good childhood, and I still got traumas, hang-ups, more hang-ups than trauma. You know, the only trauma that I had, which I didn't know was trauma, excuse my French, we're going to be raw tonight. The only trauma that I had and didn't know it was when I had that older cousin in her 30s, and I was 5 years old, and she used to make me eat her out and stick my tongue in her ass. Hence my fetishes. Imprinting, y'all. We got to understand what makes us who we are and the hangups that we have. And if you look, I said, oh my God, did you hear what Lance said? Because I'm cool with it. I dealt with it. I can talk about it. I ain't trying to slip nothing up under the rug. Yeah, I'm a freak now. I'm a super freak. I still am. Lance is super freak. And I know why. Because the imprinting, and I didn't know why for a while, because it was buried in my head, made me promiscuous at the drop of a dime. I should be dead right now. But I've known worse. You see? Malignant. There you go, heavy lefty. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It just brain farted me. I couldn't get it out because I'm so focused on, you know what I want to say. But we play pretend most of our life, carrying this heavy baggage of the trauma that makes these black families mentally sick. And you'll find more order. Check this out. You'll find more order in these mentally sick black families than you would in the military, rank and file. You know, on cue, you got to act a certain way. You can't even say anything. You have to take it. You either had this abusive, I mean, you got all kind of stuff, and I'm going to talk about those things tonight. But what happened earlier, me and Mrs. Scurv are leaving the Accra Mall, minding our business. As usual, I had my camera in my hand, and I didn't even have it on a stand to hold in my hand. I just had the little camera in my hand, close by, just getting some street footage. And then I'll look at it and say, okay, is there anything interesting in this? And maybe at the end of a video, I'll string together a bunch of them like I did the other day, just random shots. If I'm out there walking, I'm going to be videotaping. Very discreet. Now, we know many Ghanaians don't like the camera on them. I don't put it in anybody's face. I hold it to my side. Hold it to my side low. I don't even hold it up. I'm very discreet, close to my body. I see people staring at it, I move it away, whatever. So there was a dude by the van across the street getting pushed out the van. They didn't want him in there no more. He was drunk. He was, I don't know what was going on. They all tried to hit each other. And I'm looking at it, I said, okay, these are grown men. This is not some brother getting beat down by cops. This is not a sister getting beat down by a man, because I'd have to jump in with my old ass. This is across the street, and it wasn't heavy duty. Let's see what transpires off of that. And I didn't even do it right away. I thought about it, and it was going on and on. I said, you know what? Let me videotape this. And I was away. I was about maybe 3 car lengths away. Yeah? So I got this thing to my side. This next dude who had nothing to do with it runs up behind me. Why are you video? You are video. I said, yes, I am. I paid for the camera, and that's what I'm a damn do. The way he ran up on me. You are videotaping. Why are you doing that? Why? I said, what effing business is it to you? We jumped right into like warp factor 10 right away. I'm known for doing that. I'm a very hyperactive person. I can wake up out my sleep and whip somebody's backside. And without shock, what are you doing here? What? No questions. You're here. You're aggressive. Let's get it on. We'll find out later on. A lot of things happen to me that make me that way. So he's in my face, and I'm telling him, like, what is it to you? Did you buy this camera? Are you my daddy? But see, the perception is I'm a brony, right? So I'm a foreigner, and I have a camera. And they try to scare you sometime with that foolishness, but put your hand on me. He didn't do that. So now he calls a guy that gets thrown out the van. And the dude, like I thought the van gets up on me. And he's like, give me the camera. I said, take it. Oh, but my language was, I don't even want to repeat that. So I got in his face, he got in my face, and he starts to pull off his belt. I said, I wish you would. Now, why I didn't really go off, this is no excuse. Well, Lance, you're always talking tough, but you didn't get tough that time. I'm in another country. There's things I want to do. I'm 60 years old. I don't need to be, and age ain't got nothing to do with this. I can handle them, right? I can handle all of them. But I said, let me not let this thing escalate because the cops are over there. We don't know how they're going to handle it, right? So all the posturing and stuff like that, I'm mouthing off. Now I'm making fun of the guy. I know I saw his weak spots and I started making it. Then somebody starts yelling at Mr. Scurv. Mr. Scurv let him have it. Mr. Scurv gave him the business. I turned, I said, whoa. And they were looking, and it was like 3, 4, 5. Now we had like about 15 people around us screaming at us. So I said, whoever wants to get it first, be the first to put your hand on my wife. And you know how it goes with me. And I was insulting them. I'll tell you all in the conference line one day what I was saying, but because I know the psychology. I really don't want to repeat it here because a lot of people are going to be mad at me. A lot of the religious fools are going to be mad at me, right? So this is the thing. The cops came over and they knew that this guy, because they saw him, but they were a little too laid back. Oh, brother, we know, brother. I'm like, wait a second. In my mind, you guys don't walk with no authority? Mrs. Scurv was ragging like almost 15 of them. She was telling them, yo, you put your hand on me, all of y'all, I will. I was like, God, dog, right? So these guys, there were 2 or 3 following behind me with the cops, running off with the mouth. And see, I went deeper than that, right? I looked into it. I said, you know what? Let me, I was calm down already. I was in control and I was still ready to fight. I seriously was ready to fight. But I'm here. I'm an example. And I told the guy, I said, listen, we're going to run into each other again. We going to run in that area there at night. Let's run into each other before you won't have any of this backup. Nobody knew him. I said, we're going to run into each other and you're going to be the first one smiling and shake my hand. I'm not going for it. I already sized him up. I was so ready to pull the trigger. Got me talking funny. Trigger. Like I'm French. Trigger. And I'm still like charged. When I get angry, it takes 3 days. I probably won't sleep tonight. I have to. There's things I got to do tomorrow. But I'm so charged up. And I want to get this show in today, technically, because for me now it's 12:07. That's why I started it at a weird time, 11:50 for me, right? Which would have been 4 hours back for the East Coast because I just wasn't myself when I came in. Let me just check a few of these messages that are coming in. And if you all want to message me on WhatsApp during the show, fine. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm getting comments here, you know? Yeah. So anyway, and keep the comments coming. It keeps me company. It's like a private chat room. Although I won't mention any names unless you want, but you probably, some you would know, some you wouldn't. Yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, she was, and they saw it too. And they were backed up and they saw me and they're like, okay, would they really want to do that to her? Because I would have went through all of them. I don't care if it's 10, 15, 20 of them. You think I can talk? I got energy at this age to keep going. And I don't like going there because with that amount of people around me, it wasn't about even normal fighting. Kicking nuts, gouging out eyes, all of that. That's I have a lot of righteous anger in me, as you all well know. This is what helps. I can tap into this to keep going. I think I'm a good guy, but I got a dark side. And a lot of things have happened to me. And that's the last thing I need is somebody to even if they put their finger on her, that's an instant, you're out. If your head hits, see, and I'm aware of a lot of things too. I said, okay, what if I hit one of these guys and they fall and their head hits the concrete and they die? I've been locked up with guys when I worked. When I say locked up, I mean working as a correction officer. We're a mere fight between friends. One gets killed and the next one, you know, those things can happen. And from this side, I could see why they happen so fast. So you know, I said, imagine me locked up and my house is about to be finished, right? These guys who evidently see it's perception. And I'm going to go back into the whole mentally sick thing. It's perception because, oh, here I am, a foreigner, a Bruni. They think I'm a little younger than what I am. And they envision me, even though I have some loose shorts and a t-shirt and a pair of shoes where the toe on my left foot might poke through. There's a little hole getting there. I don't care. I like to dress down. When you start whipping out cameras and stuff, they realize, oh, you got $1 million there. No, I don't. This is what I do. And the perception is, oh, you have money. Now they're mad at you because the economy here is so bad. When there's a perception of you having money, either you will have people ask you in the street or they'll resent you. And as a man, when they see you, whatever I trigger off, because there's a lot of insecurities in the Black community. Let's just be real. A lot of our darker complected brothers don't like the lighter complected brothers. We're all Black. We're all African. What the hell? Because my bloodline was violated by the oppressor. You're jealous of me for that? But yet you go and bleach your skin? Let's just be real here. And this is where it's going to be from now on. That's why these topics are so easy to cover, because now, and they always were, I just want to shoot from the hip. And again, this may not be a 6-hour show. It might be 1 hour, 1 hour and 15 minutes. I don't know. We'll see where the feeling goes. Whenever I say there's always a 6-hour show. But it's just sickening. When are we going to grow up from this stuff? When are we going to face the things on the inside that make us do the dumb shit that we do and how we feel? Because that's what it was. That's what it was. So you flip it on them. I don't have $1 million. I'm not struggling, but things are tight. We're lean because we got things we're doing and building and buying. So I flipped it on him. I said, man, you want to mess with me? Don't be mad at me because you broke, because you don't have no money. And then he got madder. The cops are laughing, right? Because it was a psychological thing. Oh, take his belt off like he gonna whip me like a kid. Man, I'll take that belt and choke you off. And I don't want to think that way about another brother, but some brothers don't think like brothers. Some brothers are not brothers. Like Chuck D said, every brother ain't a brother. So we got to vet these people before we bestow this brother and togetherness and Black unity, which I believe in and I feel. But I'm not going to give it to you just because you can play me that way. You could be an agent. I'm not saying an agent like earlier today, but you could be somebody who is fronting like you with the Black talk, you with the Black thing. People love the strangers that just meet me. Hey, brother, my Black brother. Hey, brother. So most of them are legit when they spot me, but when they don't know me and they want to come with something, here they come with that facade. It's a shield and a covering for the resentment that lies below. I see women looking at Miss Scurv all kind of funny way. Mrs. Scurv is not materialistic, but there was a time many, many years ago, she would purchase nice handbags. She still has them. What you want to do, throw it away? She has nice shoes from years ago. A lot. And she would get them on discount. I'm going to tell you how they did it. Her and her sister, my sister-in-law, the cool one. Every sister-in-law ain't a sister-in-law either, or a brother-in-law, as y'all know. She lives down in Miami. She'd call up. I took a picture of these shoes. I know your size. They're only going for $26. You want to buy them for you? So next time you come, you get them? Yeah. Yes, sis. Shoes might have been $400. Now they're $26 for one day. She gets them. So she has those things. And we shouldn't even have to explain those things. But being in a position that way, or people will see us, Mr. Scurv rocking them bags. But they'll see that. And women will look at her and start cussing under her breath. That's the flip side of the ignorance. So once I spoke to the cop and I told him, I said, listen, I videotape. Yes, and that's my right. He says, brother, I know it's your right. Do as much videotaping as you want. It's no problem. I just wanted to make sure this thing didn't escalate. I said, okay, cool. And he says, well, just to keep the peace, could you just erase what? I was like, listen, you're the police officer. You can decide what you want, but I've never done anything to make Ghana look bad. I'm going to look at it on a personal level and probably delete it. And it was only like 10 or 15 seconds. He says, I can see the integrity in your eye. I said, but once I leave from you over here, I'm a mouth off. I'm a mouth off when homeboy standing over there. He gonna get it. He's gonna get the business. And you know what though? That adrenaline rush and testosterone rush, it was like, ugh, I'm not gonna lie. But we are so mentally sick against each other. It's a certain way here. Many that are Ghanaian are jealous of each other. I'm saying this. Look, I'm still going to live a good life here, right? Or somewhere in the motherland. This ain't the last stop, y'all. I'm telling you that from now. It's just like when I spoke on the show earlier, and it was, well, no, I didn't speak. Actually, it was a replay. We posted the video with that woman that was trying to wreck up my life. And I said, yeah, in 2 years, I'll probably be in the motherland. And guess what? That was 2018. Well, it was 2.5 years and I was there. Right? So this ain't my last stop. There's more to come. Elsewhere, other countries, here. I'm just saying that. So 2, 3, 4 years from now, when I replay this, you'll be like, you did say that. I never just settle on what I'm doing. There's always the next level and the next level, which I won't focus when it's too far away, but I deal with what's on me. And as that's wrapping up, I'm already researching, y'all. I'm already scoping out. You know what I mean? That's how my mind works. That's why I get so much done. You're doing one thing and the next thing is coming over the horizon. But are most Black families mentally sick? Yes. Please give me a percentage. 1% to 100. And it doesn't mean extreme levels of mental sickness for all. We know that there's varying degrees of it. Is it 95%? Is it 75%? Is it 100%, 99%? I can't tell you what to say. And if you don't want to say anything because we're on the show and your name is next to it and maybe somebody from work will see it, it's okay. You don't have to say. Right? But what's the percentage? See? You know, so let me see some. Oh, yeah, Brenda, you got it going on. 85%. Indigo King, I think you got it more going on. I'm sorry, Brenda, but he's at 98. And really and truly, think about all of the families and individuals. You can be sane within a mentally sick family, but it's still going to bother you. Yes, all up in there, Riri. All hovering all up in there. I'm not mad at you if you said 90, but if you say 75, 85, I was like, then don't come over here and say 17%. Oh, I think it's 2% because you knew two families that seem to get along, right? I heard them arguing, so I would say 2%. And we can't say everybody. Mixed genre faves, you have ding, 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 ding. She got it. She got it. I think it's along the lines. I think there's a low figure mixed genre faves. I think so. But you know where I'm going at. Yeah. The thing is, everyone I have dated, courted, and we're going down into narrow grounds here, but every female that I have ever dealt with, every single one, has a family that has dealt with mental sickness to one degree or another. Most, I'll say most, maybe they didn't want to tell me, but most of the young ladies that I have dealt with, which we know I have an extensive crazy history that I may not know from those in that world. And I'm willing to bet because they were there that it was a situation like that, right? But the ones that I got to know, the ones I seriously spent time with and had a chance to talk to, all of them were molested as a child. All of them. That's not a knock on you if you were. It doesn't mean something's wrong with you because you were the victim. All I'm saying, look at the hierarchy and structure around that situation to have allowed that situation. Yeah, we know we got these little twisted uncles and twisted stepfathers that come around and do certain things with me. It was a cousin. We got these people around and they wait for the opportunity. We understand that. But the real crime comes when you as a child or even an adult begin to try to voice this to your mother, your father, your older brothers, or whatever, and they treat you like you're the enemy and you're the troublemaker. Check that out. And I'm not ignoring the chat room. I'm just like trying to get into this zone so everything can flow. And I'll come back and check it because I know you're going to have some brilliant comments, right? And keep the comments coming on WhatsApp. It's only one person doing it, but I love the input. Keeps me in line. Could you imagine that? You're a little girl who's been molested, touched, violated, made to feel like dirt, like you're nothing, because that's what comes out of it. And unless it's addressed, you go on older now, and you still have these underlying feelings, no matter how much you've accomplished in this world, that the people that see you, that don't know your inner pain, say, you've got it going on. You've got a nice place. You've got a nice car. You've got a nice profession. You look so good. Then they turn around to my, why ain't you married? Well, how can you want to open up to somebody intimately when you've been damaged and demonized for opening your mouth to say so? Because in a lot of the situations that I know personally, you become the monster of the family. You revealed the secret. You broke code. You broke the code. Yes, Indigo King, yes. And I'm a healer. I'm a healer. I'm not saying I'm putting my hand on you and erase everything that's in your mind. But I'm seeing that more and more about myself, and I've dealt that way even with women if it was a one-night stand. I was romantic, I was kind, I was loving, and even a lot of them would open up to me. Oh, Lance, I saw your size, like my musculature at the time, and I was scared of you because I thought you might beat me. And when I was younger, I had somebody, but you're so gentle. And it messed their head up in a way because they had closed up for so much. If you're going to get to that point of intimacy, I have to be gentle. Now, we all know there's different ranges with things. Sometimes you're in a relationship and you want to be handled. I understand that. I'm more than capable of doing that. But it's not just that. But when they open up to you, and I've had so many open up to me, it is disgusting. Not them, but what happened to them, and even more so, for them to go to somebody who is in charge and your mother. And I'm not saying anything that I know of anybody here, but we all know these scenarios. I can pull them down, and you know what? If y'all called it, you can pull them down at the sky because we've lived it and we've seen it. But the little girl scenario, when you go to your mother, who brought this strange man in the house months ago, they ain't married, there's no commitment, but there's a pseudo fake lie commitment to the first big argument. And your mother treats you so terribly because she's looking out for that piece of dick that's laying next to her in the bed. And she puts that piece of dick over you, and he's using his dick to put it in places. Look, it shouldn't even be nowhere near you. If it's near you, it should be buckled down and you just passing by in the hallway or whatever. There's no, and a mother puts him over you. And you tell me he's been doing this for a while. He comes in your room at night after hitting her off and wants to rub up on you. Brazen. And he gets more and more brazen. I'm not mad at you when you got a knife ready to cut his dick off. And let your mama see that. Where did it happen? Look at the blood trail from inside my room. But many women repress this thing and hold it in. And that's what hurts me, because it will damage them from normal relations or fulfilling relations. And brothers, you got to be kind. You have to be open-minded to understand what you may not know. You have to be careful and take your time. Now, Come on now, sisters. Some of you, not all of you. When it comes to a point where you hold on to that and don't want help, and you're in a relationship and you say, no, I'm not going, I don't need help. Excuse me, I'm going to say it in a very disrespectful way. I'm just amped up from what happened earlier. You're talking about you don't want no help. You talk about you don't even acknowledge what happened to you, but you ain't give your man no pussy in 11 years. And then you get mad when he goes out and relieves himself. We go deep with this thing tonight. I'm sorry, but the most of us are mentally sick. Let me run it down. I talked about it before. I knew a family where the mama was damn near an evangelist, but she was a little psycho with it. She wore white dresses. All she talked about was the goodness of the Lord. And in her room, she cut off pages of the Bible and plastered the Bible over every part of the wall, over her head, behind the headboard, over the baseboard. The wall was like wearing bell bottoms, flaring out with it. The ceiling. And a big ass picture of white Jesus over her head. Very nice lady. Very nice lady. But her husband wasn't a nice man. Their bedroom was down on the first floor because they both had health issues. But on the second floor is where all the siblings had their bedrooms. Up into the attic, the different rooms there, 1, 2, 3, 4. The attic was the fourth, big space. The oldest one took it. And with the girls, they all shared one big room. And the other two brothers had their separate room. They were cool with that. But it was the one who was developmentally delayed who used to tell me, and this is the one, if you remember the flashlight story and the porn all on the wall, sex magazines, the mother was down there with the Bible. He was up there with porn, looking at it with a flashlight, jerking off at night. Told me, oh, well, it's easier. I can see more than if I had one hand holding the magazine. I had to turn the page with Vaseline on my hand. I'm like, oh my God, this guy. He may be retarded, but he was brilliant in a sick way. But the father would come upstairs and force his retarded son, which that's not the politically correct way to say it. I'm back from the old day, man. You not even retarded, man. He's tarded. I say it with love. Would force him to perform oral sex. And we know the term. I'm not even being funny. We're just talking street corner talk, real, right? Spit or swallow. He forced him to swallow. And he would hold him in the back of the head and just, and the time he told me when the father wanted another orifice, which how many are there on a man? Well, we know what it was. He flipped him over and his son took a dump to make him not do it. And the drunk father said, more lubrication. Could you imagine? See, these are things that are going on that we don't talk about. And there's some rough things. I don't know if you, and I may play a clip out of it, the one where we did the incest story. It was a white girl. She called me. I was about to go into work. I parked my car and I was going to go to catch the shuttle downtown to catch the bus that was in motion. And she pleaded with me. I'm like, what's this white girl calling me for? And she said, I got to get this stuff off my chest. And it was sick. I'm going to, if I don't do it, play it now tonight or whatever, I'll find the clip and I'll drop it in the bottom. But by the time she was 3 or 4, all her brothers who are older had passed her around, and uncle passed her around. Before she was 5 or 6 years old, all the male family members had been through her. I'm thinking, like, is this girl lying? But it was a kind of a trailer park trash situation, maybe a step above, but basically that mentality. You see what I mean? Yeah. And that's when the retarded son as a grown man because, I mean, he worked these menial jobs like, pushing carts in the supermarket parking lot. He couldn't do much. He worked at the Goodwill. They're bending, coat hangers and little, this little machine. And, he made a little money. He was getting checks and he lived there. But there was a lot of this. He couldn't live on his own. And most of them at the time couldn't live on their own. But they all knew the secret of the father. Now, that father never tried any one of his daughters, but he went through all of his sons. The job of going through all of the daughters was the uncle's job, his brother. They would sit around. Now, this is what my old girlfriend told me, because I wasn't there when that was going on. But the father and the uncle would sit around in the living room, and the uncle would tell the father how juicy his daughter's ass was and how he wanted to get up in it one day, and the father laughs. You can't make this up. I've seen too much. I'm about 18, 19 years old when I saw this, I heard about all this stuff. And that uncle didn't like me, I guess because he thought I was getting that juicy ass. Yes, and I was. And I knew. And I'm looking at him like, yeah, say something. Say something. The other two brothers we knew were gay, but they weren't born that way. They were just twisted into that thing because of the father, and drugs was a way for one to escape. The nicest guy, one of them, the nicest guy, all were nice now, right? But the nicest guy you ever want to see. And he served time in the military. He couldn't handle the thought of what happened to him when he was younger, and angel dust took his brain. He wouldn't harm you. He wasn't violent. All he wanted to do was play his music and smoke a little bit and go out in the back and smoke a joint. He had no desire for anything in this world. He was broken. I've seen this up close and personal, and I realize with my little stories, I tell people, say, man, you got so many stories. I lived a fast life clean. No alcohol, no crime, but I was nosy. I wanted to see things, wanted to hear things. I was a sponge, not knowing that these things I could speak back on doing this on this platform, which anybody can get a YouTube channel and speak about these things. I understand that. I'm no better than nobody else. But my end of the universe and my corner of cyberspace, I said, okay, we're going to have fun, but we're also going to speak about some things that are real. That was the nicest guy in the world. And he'd come with me and my old girlfriend. If we went to a little club to go dancing, I'm 17 years old with muscles. You know what I mean? We go out to Manhattan. And some of the songs that he loved them. I'll never forget it. I'm kind of reminiscing right now. Just a little bit of jazz tonight makes you feel all right. Raise your hands if you know that song. That's from 1981. Take you to the stratosphere. And he would walk from one end to the dance floor on the side to the other, and everybody moved away from him, not because they thought he was crazy, but that was part of his dance. He just walked forward, moving around, and walk backward and back and forth. And that's what he would do all night. And he'd smile and be nice with people. He got a check. He might have saw a young lady and bought her a drink and wasn't even trying to get with her no kind of way. They knew something was a little off with him, but he was not a threat. The other one, he lived in the attic. He lived in the attic, very secretive, didn't want nothing to do with the rest of the family as far as the father is concerned. He dealt with the mother, and he was very distant from everybody else, but he wasn't evil. I guess he was the first victim of the father, right? He kept the attic door locked, and he didn't even want to come downstairs to use the restroom. He was like, no, when I get up there, I'm not coming back down. Well, how do you fight nature? Especially when you're bringing food up there. And it wasn't even fixed up at all. One light bulb in the middle of the ceiling, a mattress on the floor, bare floor. Now, the attic wasn't finished. So in the wintertime, it was cold as hell. He'd have a couple of blankets and a heater, and he was good to go. A little black and white TV with a coat hanger on it. And you had to change the channels with the pliers. Which song? Okay, a little bit of jazz. I forgot who made it, but just put a little bit of jazz tonight and put 1981. Let me see. We'll go there now. Let me see. I'll do that for you. You know I love you. Let me go there and see now. And I'm going to knock this screen. I don't like to keep too many screens up. Okay, let's go to my channel here on this other one. Okay, make sure. Okay, let me just see. Little bit of jazz. That is his song. Yeah, the Nick Straker Band. Yeah. And they have remixes on it. Ah, there you go. There it go. There it is. Okay, let me get a link here. You probably got it already. Let me see here. And you see, we had good times, even though he himself, that one particular brother, was traumatized so much. That's the song there. I just dropped a link in there. Y'all can play it. If I play it during the show, YouTube's gonna come get me. Copyright. A little bit of jazz. The Nick Straker Band. That's straight up 1981. Now that I know. I'm good with dates. But this same brother, they were all churchified anyway. With the molestation, they were all churchified. They were forced to go to church. It was only when they got older where, you know, okay, you're older now. You're paying a little money, you know. And there was other sisters that were living there that weren't touched. But that one brother who lived in the attic, we found out from nosiness one day, me and my old girlfriend. And she took a screwdriver and just took the latch off, even though it was a lock on it. So, you know, here's the screws out and everything. We opened the door. And it was a warm, humid feeling that washed over us when we went up there, and it was dead of winter. It's like, what is that? And we started smelling stuff, whatever. Yo, the whole family was messed up. He had water jugs, you know, the upside down jugs that the white folks at the cooler, let's talk by the cooler about the niggers, those big bottles. I counted 9 of them. Well, 9 of them, but it was 8.5 jugs full of urine. He stuck his little ding-ding in there and peed, but he left them there. He left them there. I guess he was going to wait till all 9 were filled up. And stuff was growing on top of the lip, the little lip of the thing there. It's thick, like web, like, I don't know, like spider webs, but thick. And we looked at each other like, what? I don't know where he did his other thing. We weren't digging. We were out of there after a few moments. Like, listen, let's get on out of here. And the Bible was sitting next to his mattress on the floor. And it was just funky up there. And what kind of hang up did he have? He never brought men home, but we knew that, we knew certain things were going on. And he was always in the church. And never wanted to go to any church that the mother went to, which she was sick. But it wasn't something that could stop her from, you know, there's something she had to deal with. I don't want to say the disease because that really reveals who they are. Whoever's listening at me know me. If they know me, they know who it is. But I had to tell it. It's been long too far. It's like past the time of, you know what I mean? Like with this whole law with the United States, what is it, 75 years or something after something happens, they can reveal what's going on, or so many years. Well, with this here, I don't feel bad because I'm seeing more and more things. I'm seeing a lot of things out here that I can pick up on. See? Let me just check my little phone here. And that one whose mind was messed up on the angel dust, who liked a little bit of jazz tonight. You know, there was a church lady. She had to be 400 pounds or 450. She was about early 50s. And honestly, she just did not take care of herself. And she would come by to pick him up to help her with things around the yard. The yard never had any work done on it. We'd be over there about 7-8 hours. I'm being very blunt tonight because I wanted to hit people who hear this. All she wanted on a Saturday, every Saturday, every other Saturday, if it was every other Saturday, if it was 2 weeks, then the next 3 weeks had to be like every week. He wasn't doing any yard work. She wanted him to suck her pussy. I'm like, And the sisters knew that. I'm like, how'd you find out? I said, we ain't telling. But that's what I almost said the name. I'll say the name in an indirect way for those who are intelligent. What's the capital of Texas that starts with D? That was her name. Nasty old woman. She needs to be shamed. She looking at me all kind of, I'm not going on, no. I did a lot of that in them days, but not with nothing like that. I had my own issues. Yes, Master Glam, you are brilliant. Yes, church folks are dangerous. They're dangerous. And all of them were touched. But it was time to get up and go somewhere together. They were the most normal, loving family you ever want to see, except for the one that was tarted. No. I told you all this before. They'd be to the family cookouts and stuff. All the family who weren't as weird or off like that. And the son would sit there when the father would get up and tell the stories that he tells at every damn barbecue every year and make everybody laugh. And they tired. They just laugh to make him feel good because he was drunk half the time. That's the only reason why he came there, to get liquor. First thing, everybody got the food out. He running for the liquor. Sitting there drunk, didn't even eat. Telling us stupid stories. And so the retarded son, who's grown now, I think he's about 30 years old at that point. Oh, did you tell about it? How you shock your clunk on me? He that meant shot your cum in me. That's the way he talked. A little slight speech impediment. And he would look so embarrassed. Yeah, you should be embarrassed. When I was a kid, y'all know it. When I was a kid, he would come in my room and make me suck his dick. Everybody all quiet, and they were messed up too because they were quiet like hum-dum-dum-dum. We're not hearing this. And the father would be looking at him like he wanted to murder him. Yeah, I know you won't kill me. But he had this nervous laugh. You can kill me, but it ain't gonna hurt us when you was fucking me in my ass when I took a doo-doo. These people need to be exposed. And I've known other situations that have to focus on that. Sorry for the profanity, but look at the act. If we sat around and cursed bad words all day and lived a pristine life and didn't violate anybody, wouldn't you rather that to hear words and notice somebody actually did something like that? Oh yeah, Master Glam. He had eventually testicular cancer. And his balls had to be removed. He was already skinny and dried out from all the liquor. He couldn't afford a walker. So he went to the supermarket and stole a cart and took out the part that flips up and flips down when you put stuff close to you up. Took all that part out. He had somebody do that. And he walked around a cart. And he was the walking dead for the longest time. Always had a smile on his face, too. Don't let that smile fool you. Everybody thought he was so nice that didn't really know the deal. Good morning. Praise the Lord. Yeah. He had to take steroids. He had to take testosterone for the rest of his life to replicate the function of his testicles, his balls. And long after we broke up, I would see him out there. He'd fall. People would pick him up and bring him home. And he started that stuff before me and her broke up. That was a long time. That was 82 when we broke up. Right before that picture where you see me doing bodybuilding and whatnot. But I knew that was going to happen anyway. People would help him home. Mr. So-and-so, I won't say his name. Mr. So-and-so, I'm just so glad you got home. And he fell in the snow and couldn't wake up, fall in the dirt and doo-doo and dog mess and can't. I mean, it was like a little swampy area. He fell and rolled partially in there in a drunken stupor. Oh my God, let's help him. Like Boy Scouts, people in the neighborhood, grown men, teenagers, and he would accept the help. And then when he got home, he didn't say thank you. They walked him up. The mother's in the doorway. Oh, thank you for bringing my husband home. He just won't stop that drinking. He's going to die. He was already. The man was and she was up in there praising the Lord, shielding herself with pages of the Bible on the wall. She knew good and goddamn well what was going on. It's crazy. The Lord will take care of it. But nobody said nothing to her. Now here he is in the doorway. Look like he want to fall backward, and she holding on to him, and they got their hands, because there's a couple steps holding it up. You know what I mean? Like when you're in church and some big person walks ahead of you, and you put your hand up, like, because you don't want them to fall on you, like that. And he turn around and get his bearing in the doorway. And they say, well, Mr. So, I almost said his name. Let me finish the story so I don't slip up. Mr. So-and-so, we'll do anything for you. It's okay. What do you mean you did something for me? The devil would come out of him now because he was still full of liquor. You got him home. You helped him. He was dragging, pissing on himself. What do you mean you helped me do nothing? You didn't help me do nothing, God damn it. Get the fuck out of my yard. I saw him do this. He would do this. Get the fuck out. You never did anything for me. And they were going to do it again. They're going to help him. They knew they were going to get the cuss out. They tried to get out of it before it happens. I remember I tried to be nice to him. I didn't really know. This is in the beginning. You know what I mean? I didn't know. This is the first dose of him that I got. I went and got an ice cream cone. No. What, the strawberry shortcake, you have to pull back the paper. And you got the popsicle stick there, and you, it's like strawberry shortcake type. They have a chocolate one too. Well, he was there, and I bought 2 for me, 2 for my girlfriend. She was inside. I said, let me just buy 2 more for him to be nice. And Mr. So-and-so, these are for you. And he's looking at me all glassy-eyed. I said, why does he look at me like that? So he looked at me and he said, why do you think I'm broke? Why do you think I don't have any money? And he snapped them in 2 each one and threw them across the street in the dirt. I had the Twilight Zone look on my face. And you tell me that family's not mentally sick, right? And I can go on and on and on and on and on. And just the sexual confusion in that family, even with my old girlfriend. And I found that when you have situations like that, whether you're a man or a woman, but for some reason, men hide. I can't say they hide it better. Maybe I'm wrong for saying that because women hide it too. But when it's done like that so early and consistently, you either shut down or you can be promiscuous without the world knowing. You're not out there, and some can. So I really can't say that, but it seems like the men, it's not as evident till you see him cross town in a dress or something. You know what I mean? Like, oh, damn, it hits you hard. Like, that's happened to me where I see people that I know. Like, yo, don't that look like, make up the name now. Don't that look like Rollo? Yeah, that's it with his beard. But he got a blonde wig on and a mini skirt and heels and makeup. Let's walk over there so he can see us. Hey, Rollo, what's up? Hey, man, how you doing? Yo, what's up? This is really me. I'll soon be coming out. Don't tell anybody, no. I'm just living my life. What are you doing around here? I've had that happen where I'm hanging out with dudes who walk in different parts of the city. Because the best place back in the day to pick up women, and I don't mean pick them up like, pick them up and just try to run them in a hotel or anything like that. But, that's the gay side of town. They had a lot of good sushi restaurants, a lot of good stuff over there that I like. But the women over there were going around there marveling at the men like, oh my God, what a waste. There ain't no waste going on over here, sweetheart. What's your name? You know what I mean? So we hung out with a lot of women out there. Are you sure? What are you doing down here? With your friends, they're all men. Hey, what are you doing out here with all women? Hey, let's hang out. No pressure. I did a lot of no pressure hanging out when I would meet women. It wasn't always, let me get your number. Can I get with you? So and so. No. You want to meet here next week at this time? Let's meet here at 7 p.m. I don't need your number, and let's have fun. And I guarantee you, as we walk through the streets of New York City, you'll be laughing your ass off. That was my guarantee. You're going to love hanging out with me. That's my spirit. So this talk show ain't nothing new. We reacting with people and jokes, whatever. Yeah. So, anyway, there's so many situations that we're in denial about because of the things that have happened to us. And it's not always sexual. You're going to have that jealous mother who sees that you have more promise in your life to achieve than she did because of the time that she came up in. And any mother or any father, because you'll have them too, should want the best for their children, to know that their suffering didn't happen in vain. That if they were out on the fields picking cotton, if they had to deal with racism and low wages and living in a shack, well, look at it now. They're grown and they have you coming up, and you're going to college if that's your desire. You're going to a trade school if that's your desire. You're pursuing your dream in a modern world with all of these things that she never had. She should not be jealous of you. And they will do little things to sabotage you. They will do little things to put things in your head to keep you from succeeding. And women that come out of this, I've known to be so compassionate. They're hurting, but they would never do this. And what things they've achieved, they never got any recognition for, as brilliant as they can be in whatever little endeavors they wanted to do. But there's that hurt that never goes away. And then you have the other types, not the compassionate victims, but the other types who continue the situation. I don't want to say generational curse, but it's just generational behavior passed down. It's demonic. And so now you're ignoring your daughter or your son, emotionally disconnected now because you didn't get it. Now, that's not everybody. Like I said, you have some that are loving and compassionate and helpful, and they would never. And then you have some who are affected in that way. I've seen it. I've seen both sides in the same family. And that mother always seems to hide behind the damn Bible in church. And you're supposed to act on cue, like you love this woman so much. And you do. But it's like that little loving puppy who all of a sudden the master gets mad because they had a bad day and they kick the puppy in the ribs. The puppy loves the master, but master, why did you do this to me? And you've got to deal with that going on over and over and over in your head. This is why my mother, who always reached out to people and always spotted things like this happening, would extend herself and have people come over and treat them with love, cook them a meal, put a few dollars in their hand, would come over and watch a show on TV. And they would never want to leave. We're not talking little kids now, but people who of a sizable age, a teenager, a little older, whatever, who went through things because she taught in 2 colleges. And there were people who got to know her and opened up to her because she had that kind of heart. And so there were so many people that I met that were broken that she helped to heal just by her compassion and her love that she gave. She didn't want anything from anybody. You can call her any time of night. And she would talk to you, fighting sleep, knowing that she had to get up and teach a lesson the next day, but she would never turn her back on anybody. This is what I saw. I know I got my mean side, but there's a big part of me that's the same way. I had to learn to be the tough guy. That was my exoskeleton. Like you have your skeleton on the inside and the skeleton on the outside. That makes you strong. I had to toughen up for this world. I was never weak, but I was always compassionate and loving. And after getting shit on a couple of times, I said, hey, I got to amp it up a little bit, but still keep those qualities going. And it's not, look, we got to deal with racism. We got to deal with the classism. We got to deal with being looked at a certain way in public. Our sisters walking down the street. And we do it to them too now. The brothers are not exempt from this, but all we can see is titties and ass. You can't even talk to the sister and have a conversation with her on a cerebral level. Oh, that's so beautiful to do. We know the attraction between male and female can be there. But why not love her in different ways that she's not used to being loved, because she's got her guard up like a rope-a-dope. She's got her guard up because she's expecting you, after all that good talk, to come at her in a basic way. You want to get to her? Get to her head. We're not talking about to stick your dick in her mouth. We're talking get in her head and get in her heart. She will love you. We need more of that. Make her feel protected. Make her feel secure. And this is not just because she's going to be your woman. Make them all feel that way and keep it decent. Make them all feel that way. And you feel a higher sense of love without having to run around with 10, 15, 20 and brag about, man, I got a number, man. I'm gonna hit that in 3 days. That's junk food, man. No, it ain't for the one that you with, right? But all that other stuff, it's a waste of time. It's like trying to carry a bucket of water from the stream a mile up the hill, but you got holes in the bucket, and some of the buckets don't got no bottom. By the time you try to run away from the stream and bring it up to where you have to put it, ain't no water. It amounts to nothing. All of the cheap orgasms that we've had, what did it add up to now? Where are they now? Where are they now? All of the people who lied to you and told you that they loved you because you were just another notch on the belt. Well, brothers are feeling it now because a lot of sisters are using them for a notch on the belt. Mentally sick. This is not normal behavior. And we've been engineered into this. We are mind F-U-C-K'd. A mind who doesn't understand or have the filter to understand what they're seeing in a video. These videos are deadly, y'all. They're even deadlier. If up until this point in 2023, it's not just the videos, it's not just that, but it's a big part of it. It's hard for me to even grasp when I speak to someone and they say that they're 22 years old and they were born when the towers came down. To me, that was just the other day. And I might see the young lady, oh, you got 3 kids already? What? You got this? Oh, okay, 22, all right, you're young, whatever. No knock on you, whatever. You might be married or not. Don't matter what I'm just saying, though. Like, damn, life happens that fast? So when you look at these videos now and media now and movies and all this stuff, what they have up in it, if the other stuff that was a little more innocent 20 years ago, that was starting that stuff, what are we going to have 20 years from now? When you can imagine yourself to be whatever you want to be. Can I say my name is Donald Trump and my last name is Trump and put a wig on my head, a blonde wig all flying all over the place, and go into the bank and say, listen, Donald Trump told me to give me a couple of mil. And we're playing pretend with this sick thing. The oppressor hates everything natural. And we're falling into it even easier because of our own mental sickness from the root. The families are unraveled now. Most people, I'm not going to say most like I know the number, but we all know the amount of people out there that do not like their family. And from young, 13, 14, and even younger, I can't wait till I get older to get on up out of here. I don't like it here. When's the last time you talked to your mama? I spoke to her about 15 years ago. When's the last time you spoke to your father? About 20. All they did was fight with each other. All she would do was rag him and rag him and rag him. And when he ran with the other women, she got mad at that. And he would try with her. Just, man, I'm telling you, I have so much stories in my head. That's why I can't stop doing this. Look, and let me tell you something too. When you're involved with somebody who has issues that they do not want to handle, you may have to consider leaving. You don't want to leave and say, well, you have issues, so I'm leaving. No, but if you've worked with them year after year after year, and they don't seem like they want to face what you know is there. I've had situations where people say, I never told you that. I never told you I was molested. What? I'm not bringing it up to make you hurt. But you're going to tell me that you never had that happen? Then don't bring it up to me again. I wouldn't be cruel to say that, but I was thinking that. This thing runs deep. And sometimes when you get with people, you got to understand on a side note that you marrying the whole family and you are inheriting the momentum of that sickness that coming down the pike. If I handed you something, most people, even the sisters who may not be muscular and big and strong, but if I said really struggle and pick up this 100-pound barbell, most, unless you're like really petite, well, I'm 4'9" and I'm 80 pounds, I can't do it. That's okay. There's a pass for that. But just lift it up 1 inch off the ground. Most of us can do that, right? But if I went to the top of a 25-story building and said, hey, catch this, the momentum of dropping down and the speed in which it comes down ever increasing, you reach your hands to put that thing, it's like picking up 20,000 pounds. And this is what happens when you get involved with somebody. You got to be careful. And you fall in love with them, and it's okay. And you want to help them. But there comes a point where the help, love, and attention that you give to them begins to wear on you in a way that they do not appreciate because they are in denial of it. But many of us don't understand that, and we stay in situations where it's a mentally sick situation. And after a while, you realize when you get to know the family you married into, they blaming you for shit 20 years before you came into the picture. Oh, it's your fault. This happened back in 1995, and me what? You didn't know me. Crazy. And then you have that envy of these new in-laws that you've gotten yourself involved with, because you talk about how your childhood was pretty cool. I'm transparent about mine. And I always say, hey, my brother was brilliant, college educated, charismatic. You'd love him. But guess what? He's on drugs all his life. It wasn't my mother's fault. My father's fault. It's just he took to the streets. Yeah. So the bottom line is that you got to be careful, because especially if they don't want to be or take responsibility, that you got family members who have done things and then they looking at you like, oh, you're not going to fall in line because you're a newcomer. And so you're going to question the dysfunctions that are here, or your normalcy, or your wonderful childhood reflects bad on us because we didn't have that. So you privileged so-and-so, we don't like you at the core. But you weren't showing off. You see? You're right. Leave for your mental health. Your mind is the final stop. If you lose your mind, you lose everything. See? And that's what it is. So it's so much. This can go on. I'm not going to end right now. I'm just saying this can go on and on and on and on, damaging people like a hurricane traveling up the east coast of Florida. And it goes up Florida, comes down from Miami, goes up past Orlando and Daytona, Jacksonville, Savannah, Georgia. Atlanta's inside a little bit, and it goes on up by South Carolina, rips things up, or whatever direction it takes. But it continues long after the starting point, which is usually the motherland, comes all the way over the Atlantic and comes up, and it just wreaks havoc all to who they touch. And we all, or many of us, walk with our pain. We walk with our pain like the, what is the bag there? The bag most people, when they have to stick it into urine, they have problems with their kidneys and stuff. That bag, I've seen a lot of inmates with it. I'm emotional now. I'm focused this way. So I'm not even so factual. I'm usually like a little more sharper that way. Right? And they got to walk around holding this thing, but it's not for urine. It's the emotions. It's the damaged emotions that nobody knows. And we got to hide this stuff and go out into public and put on a smile. How's everything? Oh, everything is fine. Not to say, I don't know if anybody here has a drug addicted daughter who's out there prostituting, but they'll say, how is the daughter? Oh, she's fine. And you know that your inability to speak up for her when you had that man in your house is the reason why she's not fine. Or that next man who was doing stuff with your son, and now the son is out there flaming and mad with it. And a lot of times it's some kind of revenge for the trauma that these young boys had to go through. So they're going to flash the gay stuff all up in your face because they know it embarrasses you. They know when you go to church, they're going to walk down the street, sashaying down the block like RuPaul when the service is, hi, Ma, how are you doing? Knowing that you wish that day that you wore a diaper. That's that revenge stuff. And there's a lot of hurt and pain in the LGBTQ community. Yes, there is. And I'm not knocking them. I say things about that whole faction. But the brothers and sisters that are in that, they damaged too. And I think that they're damaged because most of the time it's some stuff in their house that went on. Most of the time. Some go, Rabbi, I never had that problem. I had a good home and I was just born this way. Well, we can talk about that. But there's a lot of pain in that. That's why there's so much suicides and drugs. And we ain't talking aspirin, heroin, crack, Molly, all kind of stuff, methamphetamines. And I don't really recommend too many people's channels, but I always told you, when you want to see the result of it, go to Soft White Underbelly. Watch them interviews. If you ain't hip to that, check that out. Go to Soft White Underbelly, just the way it's spelled. Soft White Underbelly. If you haven't seen that particular YouTube channel, go there. If you want to see dysfunctions and prostitutes and hookers and all this stuff, and they sit there and tell their story. You see what I mean? And that's a good thing, Sister Oyali. Yes, I'm by myself a lot. It helps me to heal and do things. Exactly. So anyone here who has ever gone through anything, it's not my goal to throw off on anybody because we all need healing. But we have to understand that many of us and most of us are born into families that have some degree of mental sickness, even if it's not about molestation. You'll have a mother and a father, or just a father or just a mother. You come out, you got 10 kids, maybe 5, I don't know, even if it's just 3, and one comes out lighter, or 2 come out lighter, and they get the good treatment. And the one that comes out a little darker complected, they may not attack them viciously, but they'll say little things to try to make them look stupid or feel like they're less. Because in the hierarchy of that society, and this happens especially even more so in the Caribbean, if you're lighter, oh man, you do the same crime, you're going to get less of a sentence of one at all. And some embrace that. Like, I'm lighter, so, I'm the shit. The bleaching that goes on. You gonna bleach your whole face because of one damn pimple? We know what time it is. Don't lie on the pimple. You catch one roach in your house, you gonna just buy up 10 cans and spray it all over the house? You got the roach. But we lie to ourselves. Why? Why can't we unearth these things that have happened to us and face them? Because I tell you, when you face them and you conquer them and you defeat them, oh, what a feeling of freedom will you have. Because when you ignore it, it's like having, and I know most of us pay our bills online now, but back in the day when we paid our bills with a check and we mailed it out, or we went down to the place to pay the bill, we had paper bills that were stacked up on top of the dresser. Worst place in your bedroom, you ain't on your side looking at the dresser, waking up the bills, going to bed the bills. So you got to keep a separate space for that. And the bills would pile up. $600, $700, $800, almost $1,000 worth of bills. Back in the day, that's a lot of money. Shoot, it's still a lot of money. But guess what? Even if it was $1,000 worth of bills crumpled up on top that you didn't want to face, it felt like 6,000, 7,000. It dominated your thinking. Even when you tried to ignore it, it was there looking at you. And when you finally got the gumption to get up and call each creditor and say, I'm behind and I need help. Well, let's see what we can do. Oh, you owe $275 on this bill. You've been a good customer. We're going to knock it down to $75. But you never know until you ask. We can't ask everybody for help, but there must be somebody that we can reach out to and take our time. Take our time to get to know them and see if they're worthy or even compassionate. Usually, you don't want to go to a family member because even an aunt or they may be down with that same stuff too. Go out of your circle. How many times have you felt weird? And I'm just randomly coming with stuff. When you go to a friend's house as a young teenager or maybe 9, 10 years old, and you see the father come home and kiss the mother and say, I missed you, sweetheart. And she says, I missed you too, hubby. I prepared a nice meal for you. And then you go home and you see a father who is an alcoholic beat the mother. Cops being called. You embarrassed because all your friends up and down the street are seeing this. Worse if he gets arrested. Next day in school, do you want to go there? Everybody looking at you funny. Oh yeah, your daddy got locked up. My mama was talking about it. It stings you. Who would want to be around something like that? Mentally sick. But the thing is, and it's both sexes, y'all, when I say this stuff. We have a lot of sisters that will find a good man, but because of their trauma, secretly get turned on to that aggressive guy that they know is no good. And they get with him because that was normalcy when she grew up. And when he smacks her, and maybe somebody calls the cops hearing it, she tries to defend him, keep him from getting locked up. The first time the cops believe it, you fooled them. And after a while, when people come to you and say, how could you stand for him to continue to do this to you? And you say so foolishly, because I know deep down he loves me, because that was love growing up. Your mind formulated it that way, that when your father hit your mother, he loved her. And you would hear them making love while she had 2 black eyes. I've seen it in so many situations. This is life. This is why I know with my big mouth and all that I've been exposed to is for me to talk about things like this and other things. See, and there's so many comments I'm missing. I'm so sorry. I just had to get this out of me to a point on the things that because I've tried to open up to people and say, hey, you give a little advice and you get upset when they don't listen to it. And it's so easy. That's what you got to do, Sister Ayala. I can't risk my sanity for folks. That's why I've left people behind. You got to. And Master Glam, she says, I'm so good alone. I have healing to do and children to raise. I'll be in a mental asylum if I continue with some folks. Damn right. Damn right. Mick Genre Fave says, do not trust strangers, even family. Family, they're just DNA sharers. DNA sharers, it would be wonderful. And there are wonderful families out here that don't have to deal with stuff like this, pretty much. There might be one out the bunch in the whole family, like, okay, we're dealing with him. We already know what he's all about. See what I mean? But we have to be able to have our space, whatever it is that you like to do. If you're listening to this, find a space of something, a place of your own. Nobody has to know about it. It could be physical. It could be a mental thing. You could, like me, I love to draw. There have been times in my life when I've been in some pretty bad situations with, not being loved and former marriage and stuff like that. I would draw. Just lose myself in that. You see? And that was my own world. I don't care what it is. It doesn't have to be a hobby like that. It could be singing. It could be walking. It could be working out. It could be traveling. It could be talking to a good friend about certain things. But a safe haven. Where is your safe haven? And when you're in families that are mentally sick like this, that treat you like an outsider, you must find a safe haven. So people say, well, Lawrence, you talk about all this stuff, but you don't talk about no solutions. Well, that's one of them. Find someone's house that you can go to that's safe. Maybe a friend of yours if you're young and you want to go over there and do homework in peace. And them dysfunctional families you're leaving behind, they pick up on that. Oh, you think it's better over there, huh? Because what? They don't be over there fighting? You know what I mean? But find a safe haven. Because I see too many kids walking home from school, taking the long route home. I remember that song by Cheryl Lynn. I believe it was on the back of To Be Real. To be real, it's got to be real. Doom, 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 doom. On the flip side, there was a song, Come In From the Rain. And one of the lyrics was, it's a long road when you're all alone, and someone like you always takes the long way home. I see a lot of kids long after school just walking along the curb, kicking rocks. They'll stop there and look at a little bug and play with it. They're not in a rush to go home. You got to watch those kind of children. I couldn't wait to go home. I love being home. And there are a lot of children who love coming with me to my home. Lancey, is it okay if I come over and we do the homework by you? I said, you know, it's okay. But my mama always said I got to ask permission. I said, listen, my mother, don't go against that, right? But you can always come over. I had one of them houses where you can, and it was me, you know, I had my older brother was 11 years older than me. He was never around. Unless he was sober a little bit or trying to steal something, you know what I mean? Calm my mother out of something. But other than that, I grew up as a single child. And between the union of my mother and my father, I was a single child, only child, single child, like I'm dating. I saw a little girl on Facebook one time. She was 9 years old and in a relationship status, single child, like what, a married child? She said, it's complicated. I'm like, God, 9 years old is complicated? But they could always come over. I never had, I was never lacked for company. And I loved it. I remember one time in my bodybuilding days, and I was like 17, I was 17. And we were in my basement, and I counted 25 different youngsters. I mean, my age, from 16 on up, 20, 19, in there. I was always the host of always those little get-togethers. Come on, yo, let's take a walk. And all of us, and half of us who were lifting weights, walking, I'm telling jokes, and we laugh. Let's go down here, let's go down. I was like the Pied Piper with people. We had fun because I knew some of them were hurt too. And my mother always told me, she says, Lance, it's very nice how you treat your friends. We really appreciate that about you. And I could see why she said that. Now I would get up in somebody's ass if I had to, if somebody did wrong. And my mother would always cook up. I mean, she'd cook up a lot. She's like, your friends coming over tonight? It's Friday night. I'm like, yeah, they coming over. Man, she would have so much chicken cooked. You get there, and now 25 people wasn't the norm, but it was always like 10, 12 people over. They ate good. And I felt good about that my mother and father could supply that. And they were close with my parents. Sometimes I'd come home and they knew I was coming home. They were already there, ready to hang. I love that camaraderie. There's a time when somebody would come over and we had to get up to do something or whatever, and especially like if we were bodybuilding and had a competition on a Saturday, they'd come on a Friday night and say, yo, you ain't got to go back home. We dropped the mattresses on the floor in the basement and fall out down there, had cots and everything, hung out, played music. Wonderful. I loved it. And so that's why I understand that giving of your time is important. And we need to seek out people who may be going through stuff that are not going to tell you anything about it. You need to reach out to them. It can make the difference and save their life, because if they feel as though they have nobody to talk to, well, guess what? You might hear about them. Oh, you know, they took them sleeping pills and never woke up. Or they got a hold of their daddy's gun. and blew their brains out. But then see, also remember that it's not just those extreme things. It could be the slow burn way of killing yourself, promiscuous sex, and you know what you can catch. And you out there just all the way doing just straight up with these goons out here, these clowns. Damn, man, she did that. Even they'll say, she didn't even know me. You know it's bad what you're doing when even they say that, and they're going to take it anyway. Yeah, the bad part is if we don't stop this thing, whatever it is that we're going through, that happened from these mentally sick black families, which are the majority, to some degree or another, we're going to pass it down. Our children are going to pick up on that spirit, and it's going to be passed down. So all of this momentum that this dysfunction has, well, guess what? It's your job to stop it. And if you don't do anything else in this lifetime, just know that it is one of the most important things that you can do. And however this universe works, you'll be blessed for it. You'll be credited for that. Even if you lived a life where you didn't do anything famous, you weren't known for anything so-called great by this world, which this life is so fleeting. I can't believe I'm 60. 60, y'all. 60. God, dog. But you know what? I'm cool with that because I have enough nourishment on my plates to share with whoever needs it. And it don't belong to me, it's for everybody else. So now I know what my life is all about. I was speaking to a dear friend earlier, and she said, you know, Lance, this was your destiny. This is what you're supposed to do. I've watched you grow, and you taught yourself a lot, and you had a lot of life experiences, but you never missed a day. And it was somebody that, you know, it went there, but it wasn't about going there. It was more heart to heart. But it never went anywhere for different reasons. But at this particular point, I have so much respect for that young lady. So much respect. And she respects me. And it's no hanky-panky. Some hanky-panky back in the day, but you're human. But it's beautiful when you can pass through that and go to something higher. You know, that shows how you have evolved. Because some men, hey girl, you need to come on out here to God. Remember that couple of months we had? You can still make something happen. I don't want to be that dude. If you love me, I want you to love me because you love me, my insides. If you dealt with me many years or decades ago, I want that kind of love first. Where you really feel that I added something on into your life. That's all. It ain't got nothing to do with dick and vagina and we did this, we did that. Most of that stuff I forgot about. I can joke about things and talk about things and reduce my vibration to meet with somebody to actually bring up their lower case common denominator, right? We start out there, we want to bring it up. But that's not me all day. That's not all I have to transition one day. And every day that my eyelashes bat, my heart beats, I inhale and exhale out of my lungs, I'm moving closer to that. And it's not because I'm afraid. I just want to be better. I don't fear that. I know so many people that have transitioned on. I'm not going to say I'm looking forward to it. And it may not be where they're there like that in that body or whatever, but I'm going to go that way. We're all going to go that way. If we can brilliantly work the deck of cards or the hand out of the cards symbolically that we've been handed and work magic with it before we get on up out of here, I think that's part of the test. It's not about how much money you accrue. We need money in this system. Yeah, granted. If you can get more of it, fine. But if you can have the wisdom to navigate these shark-infested waters of the engineered world, because you know nature's world is beautiful, but the engineered thing is hell on earth. If you can master this, hold on to your sanity, hold on to what your goals are, hold on to being the role model for your children and other children that see you that you don't even realize see you, to be that plus from the small physical space that you hold from within, to do so much and to go out into the world like the ripple effect when the rock drops in the pond of the water. And when you're gone, the ripple continues to go out like those stars that you see in the sky that are no longer there. But the light, they were so far away. Light years. The star is gone, but the light's still moving. That's what I want to be. Long after I'm going to have an effect, whether it's something decadent that I shared in a story and showed you the way out, or something funny, or something emotional, whatever it may be. One size fits all here. I want to be that one size fits all friend that we can talk about anything. And if you can get to that point, just to affect the families around you, you can't change some of these family members, but there are some. Like when you look on that banner, you see this child holding the ears of the parents arguing. That struck me. I said, let me use that one, because it's really about them. Because the older folks, if they can get to this age and be this way and maintain the proximity of dysfunction with each other, pretty much they ain't going to change. We're all that little child to some degree or another. It's up to us to stop that momentum, that dysfunctional momentum, and to not let it carry on to the next generation. Just want to say I love you all. I'm going to wrap it up soon. I just want to know if anybody wanted to say anything. It's okay if you don't. It's not every show that everybody's going to say something, but I'm going to drop the link anyway. Yeah. I'm going to drop that link. If anyone wants to share anything, just let me know. I'll keep it going for another 3 or 4 minutes. But that's what I had to say, and I got this stuff off my chest. And there's so much more. Those examples, for those who listen to this show and leave something to comment if you weren't here live, I used a few examples. Don't think, well, you didn't talk about this and you didn't talk about that. I free flowed. I know what it is I'm going to talk about pretty much, but I never write a script unless now we have a guest and we have to talk about certain things and this aspect of this invention and this. And yeah, we'll do it like that. Or if it's something so deep that I have to keep the facts right and I have to have the facts in front of me and I'll speak them out, but I'll give my take on it. I have no problem talking. You all know that. Just flowed. Just flowed. That's what it's all about. Listen, y'all. I'm going to, I hate to say end, but maybe I'll double up again tomorrow. Maybe I'll wake up because, you know, I'm 4 hours ahead of the East Coast. So whatever time that was, I think it was like around 1 or something. So it had to be 9 in the morning. Half you were like, what the hell? 9 in the morning, Scurv is up. But that's 1 o'clock for me. 4 hours ahead East Coast. You know? Siva, Lord, thank you. Thank you so much. And it's because you all are here. And I know you all have a higher intellect. You have a better heart. You'll understand. You understand. You all are so real. I love you all. Seriously. In my mind, when I'm walking out in the street, I can see the chat room scrolling up and I see the different names. For real. That's how my mind works. That's how it works. Wow. And the suggestions, Hood Mistress Reloaded. Thank you for being here. Keep on coming back. You know, it's a beautiful thing. So I'm going to play a few songs and sign off and get into bed, get up, and maybe I'll start again. I got some things to do. But it's okay. It's okay. We'll do something. A little short something, unless it's pouring down, raining, and knocks the power out or whatever. But whatever. Even like last night, you know, got on up and came on and did what I had to do anyway. You know, or this morning rather, right? So yeah, anyway, much love to you all. Let me skedaddle and we'll be back with some good topics and some real talk and will go for the jugular each and every time. I'm not afraid to admit my own shortcomings or things that I've gone through, and I'll use myself as a guinea pig. Nobody has to share anything or say anything unless you want to. There's no pressure here to be anything. But if you can derive some strength or derive a laugh or a way to, get out of the emotional traffic jam that you find yourself in, then I did my job. Much love to you all, okay? Lancescurv out. On to the next one.
you wanna know me, I stay low key, all gas, no brakes, baby, let them hoes sleep. Body on 10, make your girl OD. I get in my way, never out of my lane. Feel like you the one and I'm on one. So what it's gonna be? Baby, squad up, we finna go deep. Riding on a team, got what you need. Baby, won't you keep me company? Give me something to do when I get lonely. I got something for you when we get home. If you let me put it down, when I hit the town, you should ride on me. Keep your minds on me. On try, baby, I think you should side with me. Stay solid one time if you lie with me. Just promise you never lie to me. Keep the moves on tuck, I know it's all love. Everything good, keep the vibes on crush. I know it's all good. Know it's all love. Know it's all love. I've been feeling like the motherfucking man lately. Can't nobody do it like I can. Daily, baddest in the lattice in the land. Body turn your nigga to a fanny up, fanny up. I made it where I'm at on my own. Had a couple blocks in the road, but I get to the bag on the low. I be counting stacks while they grow, yeah, you know me. Baby, won't you keep me company? Give me something to do when I get lonely. I got something for you when we get home. If you let me put it down, when I come in town, you should ride on me. Keep your minds on me. On try, baby, I think you should side with me. Stay solid one time if you lie with me. Just promise you never lie to me. Keep the moves on tuck, I know it's all love. Everything good, keep the vibes on crush. I know it's all good, good. Know it's all love. Know it's all love. Your eyes tell me that you don't wanna leave just yet. No, my eyes agree. It's almost like when we first met. Oh, I don't care, it's getting too late. I want you and I can't wait. Don't wanna spend a minute without you. I know you feel the same. So come on, give me love. I'ma show you how to move with my body. Come hit me with your touch and make me wanna say, damn. And yeah, you know what's up. Ain't nothing I won't do for your body. So give me all you got right now. I know I'm yours, baby. So come give me love. You know you're mine, baby. So come give me love. I never felt nothing quite like this. I get a high every time we kiss. Can't get enough, baby. So come give me love. All of your love, I can't fake it. When I'm with you, my legs go weak, yeah. Can you hear it? I think my heart just skipped a beat, yeah. This feeling is getting so strong. Love me till the morning, love me all night long. There's something special about you. You're the one that I want. So come on, give me love. I'ma show you how to move with my body. Come hit me with your touch and make me wanna say, damn. And yeah, you know what's up. Ain't nothing I won't do for your body. So give me all you got right now. I know I'm yours, baby. So come give me love. You know you're mine, baby. So come give me love. I never felt nothing quite like this. I get a high every time we kiss. Can't get enough, baby. So come give me love. All of your love. Won't you love me till the morning? Love me in the evening. You know what I want. nothing quite like this. I get a high every time we kiss. Can't get enough, babe. So come give me love, all of your love. Won't you love me till the morning? Love me in the evening, you know what I want. Won't you hold me like I'm yours? Show me that I'm yours, you know just what I want. Won't you love me like the last time? Like our time was right now. Show me what it's about. Love me till the morning, love me in the evening, you know what I want. All of your love. Take it away, feeling too good to me. Chilling all day, all in your space is where I wanna be. Here in this room, what did you do? I just can't get enough. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you always make me feel like home. Yeah, you never leave my thoughts alone. Yeah, you're the reason I'm going out my mind. I just can't stop thinking about you. All that I crave when you're away, nights are sleepless. Do we need space? Yeah, maybe a break. Boy, you're my weakness. Give and we take, the love that we make, it's my favorite drug. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you always make me feel like home. Yeah, you never leave my thoughts alone. Yeah, you're the reason I'm going out my mind. I just can't stop thinking about you. You got me feeling some type of way. You make me wanna stay in all day. You're the reason I can't get out my head. I just can't stop thinking about you. 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 I just can't stop thinking about you.
Hey, this is Oscar the Lawyer. You're listening to the Lancescurv Show.
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war